What's up, comic book fans? Pete here from Comic Books Transformed, where me and my good friend Brian over there discuss comics that have been adapted into movies and streaming shows. We are still covering Batman the Caped Crusader Season 2, and now we're up to episodes 3 and 4. We were going to speed run this one because we don't have a ton of time, but Brian, episode 3 is my favorite episode of the season so far.
Really? Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
it was good, yeah. How many of you watched so far then?
Maybe 6.
Last week you watched 5 or something like that. So I've only watched
Oh,
up to 4. So.
Yeah, I didn't watch any more after last week because I didn't want to get too far ahead. And I'm gonna go back and rewatch some of them too. But what did you think? Did you like these episodes more than the first 2?
I've liked everyone so far. So I don't know. I haven't really thought about how which one I like the best yet. I oddly like the weird supernatural aspect stuff with the Barbados stuff. I thought that was a really interesting thing that I was not expecting to see in this show with this kind of time frame.
Yes,
that was a Dark Knight Metal thing. So today we're talking about episodes 3 and 4, which is Deep Cover and then The Devil's Due. So Deep Cover is we get a classic Bruce Wayne alternate persona in Matches Malone, which I also kind of love that somebody points out. I think it was Riddlerson. That's a stupid name.
Yes. The Riddler was like the most fucking annoying character, but then when you get to like episodes 4 and 5, at least me personally, I started to love him.
Yeah, he starts to come into his own a little bit more, and I still do kind of prefer the kind of smarty pants version that actually gives you riddles, and they kind of imply that, I don't know, maybe he just riddled someone with bullets and that's where the name is going to come from,
that is one. Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that yet. But yeah, he is growing on me a little. I will say that.
He delivers possibly the best line in Batman fiction when he asks a cop, when is a pineapple not a pineapple? When it's a grenade. Incredible
right.
stuff.
That was I hope that's not the most we get out of riddles from him.
Yes. No, he does some more stuff later on, but watching it a second time, it's interesting because he says that Rupert Thorne is on a sabbatical, and I'm wondering if he knows that the Joker killed Rupert Thorne.
Maybe it would be interesting to see if somehow he's already working behind the scenes with Joker, but
right.
Yeah, I guess I almost forgot that he's dead.
Yeah, he dies in the end of the first episode, I think.
He's got the first one,
yeah. But I just really like this Deep Cover episode because we do get Matches Malone. I really like his friendship with Dez, who was Blockbuster in the first episode.
Yeah, the kind of his final words after he gets betrayed by Eddie was, like, oh, it's funny that my best friend was the Batman.
Yes,
they're kind of like, maybe a little sad,
Oh yeah. It's this great little standalone episode where it's like about Bruce bonding with a criminal in prison who goes to gets jumped like 15 times while Bruce is in prison too.
Yeah, and still has no idea at all that it's Eddie that wants him dead.
Yeah, he doesn't doubt
his friend. Blind to that.
Yes, and since we're speed running, I think we should talk about how like Bruce is able to help Dez escape from Blackgate Prison, and then their first thing they do is they meet with the Riddler or Eddie or whatever, and Eddie just straight up just shoots Batman. Like,
Matches, what a stupid name. That was my favorite part.
Yeah. And I mean,
how did he survive that? Like, he went in the water and.
Yeah. Because they don't show, like, in the 1989 Batman, he gets shot by the Joker, and then you see that he, like, had this metal tray that he saved himself with. They don't really show that. I think they maybe even implied he got shot in the arm.
Yeah, later on they show Alfred bandaging his torso and mostly his arm. So it does seem like he got shot in the arm, but it's a weird spot for a point blank shot when the intention is to kill the guy, you know?
Right, because in that very same episode, there's a part where the Riddler kills one of his own henchmen, where he's like, you know, what happens when you got to plug up a hole, and he like shoots the guy with the gun. So like, you know, he killed his henchman with more accuracy. I mean, thankfully, he doesn't shoot Matches Malone in the head, you know.
Yeah. But the biggest problem I have with this episode is, again, I you know, the fact that Eddie's the one that stabs him with the serum, turns him into Blockbuster, and then he gets attacked a billion times in prison, and he has still no clue that it would be Eddie, and he still like wants to work with him after he drugged him and turned him into like a monster. Like, why the hell would you ever want to go back to that guy?
I know. I don't know. That just kind of makes it more endearing. I think that like he's just this like thug, and he's like a character from The Sopranos or something, where he's just not bright enough to catch on, and Batman uses him. You know, Batman's basically trying to get the Riddler, and like it ultimately leads to his death.
Yeah, you could definitely make the argument that he used him there, but I still like to think that they were friends.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And the Riddler just shoots him with a Tommy gun, just like at point blank range, too.
Yeah, in like a fit of rage after the cops show up when they're robbing a jewelry store or something.
Yeah. So, like, Riddler is the background character that's kind of tying everything together in all these episodes. And then we have this random episode where they have Barbados. And now you mentioned Dark Knight's Metal, but the thing is, yes, Barbados is in Dark Knight's Metal, literally, this bat god. But reference to Barbados goes back before Dark Knight's Metal. Okay. Yeah. He's mentioned in some kind of like cult, and like maybe like Danny O'Neill was writing the comic or something from like decades ago, and then Grant Morrison, who of course always looks for the obscure things, references Barbados in his run on Batman.
Okay, yeah, that was that. See, I barely remembered. I don't think I even finished Dark Knight's Metal, but I knew it was from that, and I had never heard of it before. So I was very confused to see this very modern story represented in this very classic setting. But if it was something from the 80s, Danny O'Neill, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, and I think that like in that comic, it was just literally just a cult, like it is in this episode. Okay, you know, but it's basically an episode where these people worship this bat god, and then like they think that Batman is the avatar of the bat god. You know?
Yeah, so it's funny when you first saw like the silhouette of the bat, one of the bat followers. I'm like, I honestly thought it was going to be like a Court of Owls sort of thing at first.
Yeah.
Because, and that's why another reason why I didn't think there would have been an older version of this cult, but that definitely tracks. I thought they portrayed the cult well with at least that main follower guy. I like that he was doing all these things, and then he questions the beliefs, like, why does this guy the avatar is not a believer? Like, what is this? Like, what have I been doing my whole life? I thought that was very surprising to see that kind of shown in this show here. I personally I'm not a religious person at all, and I know a cult is not necessarily religion, or maybe it is, who knows? The line kind of blurs there, but I was surprised to see that the concept of doubt shown in this capacity in this show here.
Yeah, which is funny because he shows his doubt to the cult leader, and then the cult leader just snaps his like neck, and like to where his head is like backwards.
Yeah, after reassuring him, "Oh, it's fine, everybody does that," and then
yeah. But we see both sides of that coin, right? Because we see the one guy who seemed like the most faithful follower doubting it. Then we see this woman who was like the secretary to Maddie Hatter, or whatever the fuck her name is, Maddie Tech, right?
Yeah.
And she is actually super devoted to where she ends up killing the cult leader herself at the end of the episode.
Yes. Also, I thought her character took an interesting turn here. I mean, she seems like she's very maybe funded by criminal organizations, but she's not a fan of Batman at all. And
No.
setting up kind of like a hit job with inviting Commissioner Gordon on the show, but because of their shared experience, it kind of goes a different way at the end.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
It gives a lot of depth to that character who you're just expecting is to be built up until they kind of crack and become evil, sort of,
Yeah, I mean, she's totally. It's weird how much she likes Rupert Thorne. Every time she talks about Rupert Thorne, the gangster, she's like, "Oh, his sexy biceps," and he's Gotham's favorite boy. Oh, like she's always talking about him in such a way, and it's like you're talking about a gangster,
Yeah, I kind of feel like that mirrors some people in real life in the media.
Oh, right. Right.
Which
right,
I was
right.
thinking, like, oh, maybe we could go through a show that doesn't, cover that topic, but nope.
Nah, yeah, especially if it has to do with superheroes. Yeah, probably not. But it's funny with the cult. They all look like Batman with their hoods, their cloaks and stuff. And at one point, they just fuck Batman up with like a bunch of knives.
Yeah, this was a confusing scene to me because normally it's Batman throwing like a smoke grenade and then he kicks everybody's ass that has guns. But here he's just like completely paralyzed by this other person's smoke bomb. He just gets stabbed like 20 times.
Yeah, right. It is like 20 times. You're like, shit, Batman. All right, it's a bit much, And yeah, he's in bad shape, but then he does come back for his typical Batman entrance, right, Brian?
Yes, my favorite part of the episode where he's attacking the cult in a rundown church that has one wall, and he crashes through the stained glass window of that one wall. I need to like find some like behind the scenes something and just find out why, like, is it meant to be a gag? Like I just need to know.
Yeah. If they did that as a joke, absolutely. But what you also need to find is like a super cut of all the times that Batman jumps through a glass window.
Maybe we should make that for our channel.
I know, but the problem is it would be 6,000 hours long.
Yeah, you had to rewatch every episode and cut out 3 parts of every episode.
Right. Jesus. But I like the idea of Barbados. I like that they're able to, because even though it's a character that's been referenced and kind of done in different ways in the past, they all know that guys like us are like, oh my God, metal! We're all getting excited. So I like that. And it makes me excited that they might do something like Dark Knight's Metal, not on this show, but like maybe in some future DC thing. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting to see that. And then we have to, oh God, what's the voodoo guy's name? I forgot.
Papa Midnight.
Papa Midnight. Was he? What was he doing going into that store? His store.
Oh shit! This is one of those situations where it's like I saw it so long ago, I kind of forgot that part.
Well, he walked in with a man and woman under each arm. And
wow,
that's another surprising thing I wouldn't expect in a show. This show.
Oh no, Papa Midnight knows how to party, man. He's a Constantine character.
Yeah.
And so he's in the Constantine movie with Keanu Reeves.
Yes. Yeah. God, who played him?
Digimon Hansu.
It was him, yeah.
That guy gets around with his any comic book characters, right? He's in Guardians of the Galaxy, he's in the Shazam movies,
Yeah, he's been in a lot of things, yeah. Guardians.
Yep, Amistad.
Even though that's not a comic book.
But no, it's cool to have that reference, and you said this at the beginning of the recording that like you like where it has that sort of supernatural element thrown in. Like you don't necessarily need that all the time, but it's cool that they go there.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it shouldn't be that every time, but I think it's an interesting side of the character that doesn't often get shown. So I appreciate these episodes, even though this wasn't technically supernatural because it was, the Mad Monk was like a fake in a way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And so, I mean, like 2 really solid episodes. I remember watching them like maybe a week ago and I was like, oh, the show is like picking up. I'm digging this. And then I'm trying to think what the you know what, Brian? I actually did watch two more after this, and they're both. I don't want to spoil anything, but the second of the two I really like a lot. And I like the other one too, but it's just like a solid show, and no one seems to watch it but us.
Yeah. The last comment I'd like to make too, other than I don't hear anybody talking about it, is that I really like how they're slowly building up the Joker throughout these episodes. I think he's kind of been in the background or the end scene in every episode or almost every episode so far, and I'm excited to see what they do with it because it seems like it's going to be an interesting take. And again, it's just such a nice, refreshing thing to see that kind of development after we were kind of disappointed with how they built up Apocalypse in X-Men 97 and then kind of just like screwed up the landing.
Yeah, they did screw up the landing. That is true. That is true. Yeah, I don't really know like what the Joker will do to where he's going to be this sort of like season-long threat that it'll be so big that it's like overwhelming to Batman. If I had to guess, it would be that he does something to the city at large, which the Joker does like, every other Tuesday, right? Yeah. But I think it'll be like a sort of like city-wide crisis that he sets up.
Yeah, I mean he's currently stockpiling that blockbuster serum, so I'm curious to see what he'll do here.
Oh yeah, when is that Batman Absolute Batman cartoon? Is it still like a ways away, or are they saying
they just announced that it's going to exist? We're probably a long ways away from that. I mean, we haven't even heard anything about the Energon universe cartoon yet, and they announced that way earlier than that. These things take a really long time, so I think they just kind of said like, "Hey, we're making this," and we haven't seen anything yet at all. But very excited to see both of those things come out when they do, and we'll definitely be covering both of them.
Fuck yeah. So is there anything else you want to say about these two episodes of Batman the Caped Crusader?
Nope. Looking forward to more.
Hell yeah, man. So yeah, guys, go check out our Lanterns review. We covered episode 1 of Lanterns. We're going to be doing that every week as well. We're going to cover 2 more Batman Caped Crusaders next week. So, subscribe if you like listening to us talk. Tell us which episode you'd like the most in the comments. Give us a like. We could appreciate that. If you guys excuse me, I'm going to go have a gangbang with Papa Midnight. See y'all.